Welcome to the Silver Ranch podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Schmidt, Vice President of Investcore, the developer of the new Silver Ranch Subdivision. In this podcast, we'll take you behind the scenes of Bismarck's newest subdivision and get to know the people and businesses making it happen. Today's guest is Chad Wachter, President, CEO of Investcore, the developer of Silver Ranch. Chad, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
First off, just tell us about yourself and your background.
Well, I learned a lot about the development business from my dad, Lance. And so growing up as a kid, I used to ride with him and I would go to meetings with him. And I learned a lot about the business from my dad. He was kind of the inspiration behind wanting to get into it.
Okay. One thing I always find interesting is we talk about, the Wachter history and, back to the Wachter Dre days. And I don't think people quite understand that the family name has been around 100 plus years.
Yeah. So the Wachter family came to Bismarck around 1876, and the first family business was cutting ice out of the Missouri River. So they would cut the ice out and then they would store it over the summertime, and that's how they kept their freezers cold and kept food cold. And then we had a warehouse where we would store goods that would come in, food that would come in by railroad. We would store it there for restaurants or for grocery stores. We used to store paper for the Bismarck Tribune there back in the 1900s. And in the 50s, the Garrison Dam was built. And my family found out about the project several years before and decided to buy up as much land as they could in South Bismarck and laid out this huge vision for South Bismarck, which included Kirkwood Mall. My family owned that until the 80s. We built the Kirkwood Motor Inn, which is the Ramkota.
Yep.
And my family is also the founder of Kirkwood Bank and Trust. Because what we found was there was a lot of financial institutions that didn't want to finance things in South Bismarck. So we put together our own bank to handle a lot of those loans. And at the time, our family was the largest employer in the city of Bismarck back in the 80s. We had probably around 875 employees.
Wow.
So,
all right. So let's go ahead and talk about Silver Ranch. That's the development that you've started in Northeast Bismarck. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Silver Ranch it's right around 1,200 acres. Should be 2,800 single-family, multifamily units when it's all said and done. 30-year project. Hopefully we can knock it out in maybe 25
maybe
years
20.
or 20,
yeah, 20.
Jamie?
Yep.
And it's a master plan mixed-use development.
And I guess for people listening, when you say master plan, what is that?
Well, so what we did is we took the entire 1,200 acres and we laid out exactly what we want to do with it, where all the houses are going to be, twin homes, where we're going to do commercial developments, or commercial portion of it, multifamily, school, recreation center. We've got an area up in the northwest corner of the development where we're looking at doing assisted living. We've got walking trails laid out, green space, stormwater. So it was a huge undertaking to lay the whole thing out. I think it was well worth doing it.
Talk about the benefits to the city of Bismarck a little bit, in your opinion. I know the tax base and what that's going to do to the city of Bismarck.
Well, Silver Ranch development should create a tax base close to $1 billion. And, as long as you control the growth and you do it in a very orderly manner, the city can handle it. But to start putting in a bunch of infrastructure, for too many lots, that's where you get into problems. So, the key to this whole thing is managing the rate of growth. A huge undertaking was to bring the sanitary sewer line underneath Interstate I-94 up to the southeast corner of the development. This sanitary sewer line isn't just about Silver Ranch. It actually opens up the entire northeast side of Bismarck.
I think another unique thing I know I've worked for you for 20 plus years. A lot of developments we've done a lot of the building there. Right. I think with Silver Ranch, we've been very fortunate. I mean, the first phase, we have 81 almost sold out, and we've done it with multiple builders. Can you maybe touch on that a little bit? How we decided to go to multiple builders and what our thought process was?
Well, Silver Ranch it's such a big project that, we could do it. I think that you and I would agree that we're capable of building that whole thing out if we wanted to. But I think in order to do it, I don't think we want to wait 30 years to do it. It'd be nice to knock it out in 20 years or 25 years. In order to be able to do that, we're going to have to engage everybody in the community, all the different builders, contractors, other developers, people that have a vision, and bring them into the area.
Well, thanks, Chad, for joining us. I appreciate it, and thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Silver Ranch Podcast. If you'd like to hear more, subscribe for new episodes and connect with us online at Silver Ranch Subdivision on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or silverranchnd.com. We'll talk again next time on the Silver Ranch Podcast.